So we just finished watching your video.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the biggest gap between what I just modeled and what you modeled earlier today in the video?
Student engagement and the why, leaving with the why.
Tell me more about that.
So you engaged me as a student to know every piece and to actually give you the answer, which I thought was very cool, and I could walk away from that lesson and able to explain it to somebody else.
And what kind of answers were students giving you during your lesson, during your debrief?
During my debrief, students were giving me false answers, but most of them were giving me just straight up no work shown.
Yeah, or just like the numbers, right?
Just,
so like,
yeah.
you were like, what happened? What's the next? You were like, once I decompose, then it's what 8/8.
Right.
Versus what I said is I asked what to do next.
Yes,
right?
and the students had to come up with the actual answer versus me giving it.
So what students were doing, what I'm hearing you say is what students were doing in my debrief is they were telling me the process, and students in your debrief were telling you the answers.
Yes.
And so that's different, and especially with only 2 getting it wrong, engaging them in the process is going to like continue to engage them in the right answers. Okay. Because then they already know the answers. They're sitting there like, I already got this right. Why would I want to participate in this in this activity? Yeah. And also, what I think we saw from your exit tickets is students were decomposing when they didn't have to.
Yes.
Because they didn't understand why they were decomposing. Here, that you understand that you can't take 5 from 3. But if it was 7, you could take 5 from 7.
Right.
But if we look at your exit tickets, students were decomposing all the time.
Yes.
So hitting that why is really important. Great.
Totally.
So what opportunities do you think were missed because you didn't conceptually go through it and you went more procedurally through it?
Well, the opportunity is to pick up that tactic in the future. Said, well, it's going to save time if they just regroup whenever they want. They're not going to know why they are regrouping at all. Like the whole focus of this should have been why we do the regrouping and why we don't.
Yes, so, absolutely.
Yeah, with that knowledge.
Great. That's great. I love that. So I'm excited to see you do that later.
Excited.
So I'm excited. So you go to the next page in our O3.
Yeah.
Based on what we've talked about today, what do you think our action steps should be for this week?
For this, definitely going through similar problems would be great, and having them answer or give me the next steps versus me giving it to them.
Absolutely,
sure.
Yeah. So like, I'm actually gonna write. I give you the action steps. I'll write it down.
Okay.
So now you can write it down. Yeah. Your action step today is your big overarching theme in the Get Better, Faster scope and sequence is check for whole group understanding. So I want you to write that down, like under the bullet. Yep.
Okay.
And like the 2 mini, like how and the what, is you're going to prompt students to explain the process and the why behind their work. So prompt students to explain the process and the why behind their work. You shouldn't be prompting students for the answers. So I would write down like maybe in parentheses the word because. So like making sure kids have the word because in the answers they give you might be key. And then your second one is, I love this move, is feigning ignorance to make a common error and have students correct that error.
Yes, I love that. That's awesome.
And sometimes it's fun because no students will say anything, but you know that you just move on and you're like, But I think you have an ability to feign wonderful ignorance.
All right.
Okay, cool. So you have your 2, read them back to me.
All right. Prompt students to explain the process and the why behind the work. And then feign ignorance and make a common error and have students correct it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I want you to add the word because there.
Okay.
Like at the top for the first one. Yeah.
Cool.
Great. So what we're going to do now is we're going to plan for, I just modeled essentially what you would do for today's next 2 lessons. So I don't want to go ahead. So I don't want to go and plan today. I asked you to bring tomorrow's exemplar with all of your colors. And what we're going to do is we're going to find we're going to find the debrief we're going to find the question that comes right before independent practice.
Okay.
And what I want us to do is I want us to both script out the debrief. And I actually have here for you the script of my debrief that I just did up there, so you can kind of like see how it flows. Like
Yeah.
I bullet pointed things.
Okay.
So we're each going to take 3 minutes, and we're going to, based on, let's use challenge problem 4.
All
Is
right.
the right? They're going from challenge problem 4 to independent practice. Let's go ahead and script out what we're going to say and the questions we're going to ask to
Okay.
get students to debrief before independent practice. Then what we're going to do is we're going to compare them,
Okay.
compare our scripts,
Uh-huh.
and then we're going to add or take away and make like a Frankenstein one.
Nice.
And then we're going to take it live.
Yes.
So I'm super excited. Okay,
Yes,
here we go.
awesome.